Alright, let's get started. Find and kill them. 4 villagers, 1 outcast, 1 minion, 1 demon. Let's see. Minion, disguise, 60% chance disguised as a copy. Okay, and a demon will always disguise as a unique villager, will not double claim. So I guess that means that minions have a 60% chance to double claim is what I'm assuming. Okay, let's get started. Poisoner, he can corrupt Ba as a fake outcast. Okay. Bard, I'm 3 cards away from corrupted character. 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Is it possible for an outcast to be corrupted? Poisoner would indicate 1 adjacent villager is corrupted, so not the outcast. So that would mean that this is corrupted. 1, 6, or 5 is evil. You can't be corrupted because this is a true statement. 5 is evil. Learn 3 characters, only 1 is evil. So it's possible that more than 1 is evil. All characters in my info are good. Less logically, let's suppose that 4 is telling the truth. Let's suppose 4 is telling the truth, and they're not corrupted. In which case, the statement of 165 is evil would... Wait, actually, no, you don't count as evil. Sorry, I'm getting confused with the wretch. Let's see what 6 is. 2 cards away from the closest evil. 5 is a real bombardier. Okay, between the hunter, 1 of these is a minion. And now the next question to consider is, where's the demon? There's only 1 outcast, so you're good. 1 of the hunters is bad. Anyone else I can confirm is good. 3 is good. 2 cards away. 5 is a real bombardier. That's a true statement. There's only 1 bombardier. Anyone else I can examine? There's an evil in this pair and an evil in these 3. 3 cards away from corrupted character would mean the only possible character that could be corrupted in that instance would be the Empress. In which case, the Poisoner... You would have to be the Poisoner and you would have to be... well, you would have to be corrupted. Which means, if the Poisoner is 3, then... Okay, no, let's think about that. Let's think about it carefully. I need to wrap my mind about this. Okay, if you are corrupted, that means you are the Poisoner. And if you're the Poisoner... Is it still possible for the minion to be this? Or is that still... I feel like that's still double claiming. In which case, you're the Poisoner, which means this is... This would be false, if assuming you're telling the truth. 2 cards away from the closest evil, though, would not make much sense in that instance. The corrupted makes this logic find is so much more difficult. I could just start stabbing, but I want to, like... I want some reasoning behind this. Let's suppose you're 10, 4 is evil, 1 is evil, 3 is good. Let's start with this proposition. Let's say 2 is not corrupted, and 2 is telling the truth. That means 3 is good. And if I suppose 2 and 3 are both good... But there could be a poisoner. Oh no. How do I logify this? Okay, it makes... No, okay. 1 makes sense. 1 has to make sense. If you're telling the truth, that means 4 is corrupted and 3 is the Poisoner. If 3 is the Poisoner, then this statement's a complete lie. If you're corrupted, that means between 1, 6, and 5, you must be telling the truth, which means you're bad and you're bad. So that is That's a possible future. That's possible. It's possible. That makes sense. You're telling the truth because you're corrupted. And you are good. With 2 cards away from the closest evil means that this is a contradiction. That's impossible. Because assuming 6 is good, then this statement that you are evil would not make sense. Which means it's impossible for 1 to be good, or as in say, like, this would be good. So that means you're either corrupted or evil. I think, instead of thinking about corrupted evil, I just identify the lies at this point. Basically, of the 5 people remaining, 3 are lying. Okay, so I know you must be lying. So, if you're lying, then that means 4 is not wait, if you're lying, that means 4 is not corrupted. So if 4 is not corrupted, then they're telling the truth between 1, 6, and 5. Alright, wait, 4 is not corrupted. Then... well, what if they're lying? Because they could be evil and they're lying. Okay. 3 cards away from the closest evil. Let's try... at the very least, I know that you are corrupted or lying. Alright, let's think about this again. Hunter, let's compare the 2 Hunter statements, actually. Hunter 6 says they're 2 cards away from the closest evil, being 1, 4. Hunter 3... if this is a true statement, and that's a true statement, then that means you're evil. Let's consider what happens if... okay, let's say these are good. 3 is good, and that means this is a true statement. 1 card away from the closest evil. Which would mean this, you're bad. Yeah. Which means you're bad. I just need to start swinging. Okay, wait. Let me just... I need to execute someone. Okay, that's no blessings. So you're poisoned. Because you're corrupt. Yeah, okay. So if I assume that's true and you're corrupt, you're telling the truth, you can't be 2 cards away from the closest evil in that instance. 3... oh, you're evil, you're evil. Beep. Okay. I'm sorry. Oh no. 1, 6, and 5. 1, 6... 3 cards away. No, you're not 3 cards away from the corrupted character. Okay. I need to find a way to simplify it in my head. 1 good villager is corrupted. Villagers to left and right of me are cured from corruption. Let's see. Plague Doctor, Witch. 2 minions. Okay. Medium. 6 is a real oracle. What does the oracle do? From 1 out of 2 characters, 4 or 8 is a witch. Witch is 3 cards away from the closest evil. Let's see what else I can like. Okay. 1 of the mediums is evil. 4 is a real scout. 6 is a witch. Okay, so that helps narrow down the evil pair. So either 1 and 6 are evil, or 2 and 4 are evil. No, there's no corruption and... oh, there's a Plague Doctor. There could be corruption. Okay, well, assuming corruption wasn't an issue, that means our evils are either 1, 6, 2, and 4. Now, what does that mean? Okay. This has to be the Plague Doctor, which means one of these innocents here is corrupted. But I know for a fact that the medium and the oracle, those are where the evils are, so that means by automatically that 8, 3, and 4 are good. So we can already process that, but among 8, 3, and 4, or among the remaining villagers, 1 is definitely lying, which makes it a bit more difficult. Which is 3 cards away from the closest evil? That makes sense, because the pair is 1, 6, or... I think 4 is a real scout. Wait a second. No, we identified those are good, because the evils must be here. And 4 is a real scout is a true statement. That's a true statement. 4 has to be a real scout. Which means this medium over here is evil. Okay, that's good. And you're saying 6 is a real oracle, which means 6 is not a real oracle. Counselor. We all need one of those in our lives. 1 villager becomes an outcast role. I sit next to it. I disguise as a good villager currently in play. Oh, so you're gonna basically duplicate a villager role. So there's gonna be duplicate outcasts and duplicate villagers. Okay, I see how it is. 6 villagers, 1 outcast, 1 minion, 1 demon. No witch? Okay, I'm free to reveal everyone. Let's go ahead and do that. So we can get out some easy information. Okay, 1 bombardier means... it's not... There's supposed to be 2 outcasts, he goes like counselor. You're good, because there's only 1 outcast. The counselor... Okay, there should be a second outcast. And because there isn't a second outcast, that means the counselor is sandwiched in between the ba. Which means they are right next to each other. Counselor is 1 card away from the closest evil. That has to be a true statement, given that there isn't a second outcast. Which means this statement must be a lie. Is there any chance of you being corrupted? There is no plague doctor, which means I can execute you. What was there? Let me think. Let me think. Counselor is actually 3 cards away from the closest evil. But there should be a second outcast. Oh, what does that mean? I don't know how to reconcile this. There's only 1 outcast, which means this is good. There isn't a second outcast. There isn't a second outcast. Wait, did I... Wait... Oh, no. Oh, shoot. Wait, no, the second outcast must be a doppelganger. That makes sense. The second outcast must be a doppelganger. And that's why they appear as a villager. Okay. That makes a lot of sense, which means whoever's a duplicate here has to be the doppelganger. So you're the doppelganger. Okay, you're the doppelganger, which means you're good. And since the counselor must be next to the... Wait, that means the counselor could be 9 or 6. There are no corrupted characters. That's a true statement. There's no corruption. 9 has to be a false statement. I'm thinking you're the counselor. You're next to a doppelganger. You're lying this. You're saying 3 is good, but that means that 3 is evil. Between 1, 4, and 8. Let's use the judges to test this. There's only 1 pair of evil. How is that true? They're adjacent, but wait a minute. I might be misunderstanding something. Okay. Counselor is 1 card away from... No. 1 closest... Wait, the counselor is next to... Okay, I need to think this through. My logic is all out the window. Okay. So the counselor is either next to the the counselor was either unable to make an outcast, or the counselor is number 9 who created the doppelganger. So that's 3 different situations. If the counselor is 9 and they made 8 the doppelganger, then this doppelganger does not necessarily. This doppelganger still says the truth in that instance. But basically, if the counselor, this scenario is impossible because if the counselor is number 9 and they make the scout the doppelganger, then that statement over here is false, which means it cannot be a doppelganger. In which case, counselor is number 6, and they make number 7. They make number 7, which means you're the counselor. But this is a true statement, which means you can't be the counselor. Which means, what does that mean? What does that mean? I don't know. I don't know. I think it ended with saying that 9 was the counselor. No, 8 is 8. You know, is 8 evil or 8 a counselor? No. You have to be a doppelganger, which means you must be good, because there has to be a second outcast here. Probably. And it's not a situation of the counselor being 9 and you, but in order for that to be the case, 9 has to be the counselor, which means you must be telling the truth, but you can't be telling the truth because that would be a lie in that hypothetical scenario, which means that doesn't make sense. In the hypothetical that 9 and 8 are both evil, that doesn't make sense, because then you'd be lying and saying 3 is good. Okay, I need to take a step back from counselor logic. What's a different angle that makes a bit more sense in my head? I have 2 judges I can use. Between 1, 4, and 8, one of them is evil. This statement is basically saying that 8 is evil. So, why don't I use both judges to confirm that information? 2 judges are saying you're correct. I don't think it's possible for 2, 3, and 4 to all be evil. So assuming you 2 are telling the truth, because if you're evil, if these were the 2 evils, then they'd have to say you're lying, because then that's the maximum number of evils. So you're telling the truth, which means you're good, which means among 1, 4, and 8, that means 8 is evil. I'm really curious which outcast you created. Okay, so counselor is 1 card away from the closest evil. That's a lie. So if it's a lie that counselor is 1 card away from the closest evil, that means this statement must be true. And by process of elimination, that must mean the knitter is evil. Oh, you create a bombardier. I don't know how that stumped me. Let's keep going. I disguise as a random not-in-play villager. I'm corrupted and I lie. I cannot be cured. What? I disguise as a random not-in-play villager. You are a villager who is corrupt and of course you're corrupted, and if you're corrupted, so you're evil. I'm corrupted and I lie. Okay. Learn 1 random outcast among the let's see. No witch? Oh, just the minions in the bar. Okay. 1 source of corruption. Alright, we can start by revealing everyone. Let me start off with the basics. Is there a chance of a Yeah, there's a chance of a doppelganger existing. Sorry. Let's think this through. Existing pairs, we have 2 scouts, we have 2 druids, we have a plague doctor, an oracle. Problem is, there really could be a doppelganger and a plague doctor could be evil. I need to start finding a way to siphon information, so I need to figure out which among these statements I can actually trust. Saying there are no corrupted characters is a bold statement, because that would imply the plague doctor is actually evil. That's a very bold statement. I'm closest to evil. Let's remember, there's 3 evils, 1 outcast, and 3 villagers. So only 3 people are actually telling the truth. That's 3 cards away. These 2 contradict each other. 6 or 7 is a minion. 7 is a real druid. Hypothetically, if 6 is evil... Now, there are active abilities I should be using. I'm just not, like... I want to use them when I, like... I want to use these abilities when I know that... Here, I need some more information. 5 is telling the truth. Assuming 3 and 5 are both evil. Killing 1 would serve my purpose. Okay, first, I need to determine where a doppelganger actually exists. I need to know if 1 is actually telling the truth. So I'll use the druids on 1. And I'll use them on 2 unique characters, and that should give me information on whether the plague doctor is actually real. Okay, let's try that again. I'm getting the same information from both. What does this mean? Well, it means... we have 2 people implying... No, we have 3 people implying that this plague doctor is fake. Because if there are no outcasts, no corrupted characters. There are 3 people indicating you're fake. Which means that we must have a doppelganger. Now we have 4 people implying you're fake. That's enough to execute you. Alright, that's good. I know you're telling the truth, so you're good. Well, I mean, you could have just been the drunk. But the drunk disguises as a villager, so that wouldn't be a case I need to worry about. That means 9 and 7 both told the truth. Unless one of them is drunk? I haven't thought about that. What if they're drunk? Well, no, wait. What happens if 1, 4... No, they both gave me this... No, okay. What if 9 and 7 were both evil? Because there's... in actuality, 4 is a drunk. Oh, there's so many cases. What can I trust? I can trust number 3 is telling the truth. There is no corruption. What else can I trust? What else can I trust? I think... I want to trust both 9 and 7. I'm just hung up on an edge case that... Wait, hold on a moment. Let me think. The outcast is either a doppelganger or... Oh wait, there is no drunk. Who am I kidding? Okay, there's only... Okay, that simplifies things greatly. The doppelganger is telling the truth. Which means... what does that mean? That means, 9 and 7... What was I thinking? Okay, I was doing the possibility... What? Okay, I was doing the hypothetical that 9 and 7 are both evil. Because I want to rule that out. So if that's a lie, and they're saying among 1, 4, and 5, there is a doppelganger. But that can't be true because none of these are duplicate rolls, which means both 9 and... I think basically 9 and 7 are good. And end of story. Let's see. Which means one of these between... These are contradictory statements. Between 9 and 7, one of them's a doppelganger. So, among the 4 remaining... See, you could be lying. You could actually be saying 7's a doppelganger. Is that what you would say? Now, among these 2, who's evil? One of the scouts is evil. And the medium and the oracle. Between one of those 2 is evil. Let's see... Baz 2 cards away. 7 is a real druid. 6 or 7 is a minion. Easier for me if I kill one of the hunters. I'm just not sure who's more plausible in this instance. 7 is a real druid. 6 or 7 is a minion. See, there's a 50-50 this is true, because it could be a doppelganger. I'm actually curious, will that appear as a doppelganger, or will that... No, it's a disguise. There's no way that's including a doppelganger's information. There's a 50-50 chance they're lying. But 6 and 7 is... Baz 3 cards away from the closest evil. I know! Baz 3 cards away from the closest evil. I know that. Wait, let me see. 2, 2, 2, 3. 3 cards away. You're telling me that 2 and 8 are evil. Huh, that does make a bit of sense. Wait, I should have used... Oh, no, I should have used your information. And then I could know if you're, like... What happens when you lie? Yeah, but, like... Wait, what if I use your ability? Not your ability, but if I used your Plague Doctor ability. Come back from death and tell me, Wait, this is just gonna be a lie. Wait, you're lying. Oh, no, this is a lie. You're saying 9 is evil? That means 9 is not evil. But I already knew that. Okay, I need a... Okay, I don't think there's any good way to figure out who's evil in this instance. I will just stab 6 for being more unlikely. Thank you. And that means you're good, which means the 2 is 2 cards away, so you're either this or either that, which gives me no information. So it's another 50-50 between 8 and 7. 8's telling the truth. This is a true statement, which means 4 is dying. Wasn't 6 a minion? Oh. Wait. Something's not right. About is 2 cards away from the closest evil. Wait, were they both the scout? Ba is 2 cards away from the closest evil. That has to be... Wait, this has to be fake? Oh, okay, that was sneaky. I didn't think both of them would be evil. Oh. Man, this game twists my head. Puka. Villagers adjacent to me are corrupted. Hence, everyone became a liar. Puka, counselor. 6111. 612, basically, simplify it. Okay, I can reveal everyone without consequence. Let's see, can I narrow down who the... Okay, you're good, I think. No, there could be a doppelganger, I can't say you're good. Do I have... I disguise as a good villager currently in play. Do we have any duplicates? We have a judge. Professor, Oracle, Hunter, Judge. 3 judges. So I can't rule out the possibility of a doppelganger. Okay. One thing good can't rule out is Confessor. Thank you for existing. Let me see. Wait, between... One's a minion, one's a demon. Okay. How do I want to approach this? There's one... There could be several sources of corruption, because there's a Puka. But I can confirm, though, 3 and 5 cannot be the Puka, because then 4 would be saying the wrong thing. Let me see. Oh, I can confirm the judges, whether they're good, by just having them test 4. It might not be a good use of their abilities, but it's another way for me to treat them like a confessor, which helps narrow down some of the, like, concerns. So yeah, okay, you're both good then. All the judges were good. I used up their abilities. 3 cannot be the Puka, and 3 could be the counselor, if 2 is a doppelganger. That's a possibility. Let me use the Plague Doctor ability to see if 4 is not corrupted. That's a true statement. This Plague Doctor must be real. This Plague Doctor is real. There's only one outcast. You cannot be the counselor. One of those judges must be evil. I think something broke inside my head. Wait. Whoa. I need a pencil and paper. Let me see. 4 is not corrupted. That's true, you're telling the truth. And both of you are telling the truth. So I have 4 goodies. Now, but there can't be duplicates. There can't be duplicates. There can't be duplicates. One of them is the doppelganger. I know that. One of them is the doppelganger, which means 3, 8, or 6 is the counselor. What's preventing 3 from being the counselor? What's preventing... I need to know. Granted, no, there's nothing preventing 3... Well, actually, no. We can confirm that among 3, 6, and 8, one of them is the counselor. There's only... How do I, Oh, wait, what if they create a Plague Doctor? Then 9 would be the counselor. Let me see. It's a real Plague... Okay, wait, no, but... And then there's 3 people here. No, there's 5 people left. 3 of them are lying. No, they could all be lying. I didn't think about that. Oh, no. They could all be lying. Oh, shoot. Okay, let me think about this very carefully, yes. I've wasted all my information. 2 cards away from a corrupted character. 7's not corrupted, 2's not corrupted. Stab. 2 cards away from a corrupted character. Stab. Something... Oh wait, but you yourself are corrupted. You're corrupted, which means the Puka is 8. The Puka has to be 8. Okay. Wait, but if you're corrupt... Oh no, you're the doppelganger. You're the doppelganger, which means you're immune to... You can only make villagers lie, which means the doppelganger 7. And the doppelganger 7, then the counselor has to be 6. Because the doppelganger is 7, because the doppelganger is immune to that, which means that you are evil, and you are good because 4, 6 is a counselor, which means 6 is evil. Whew. Alright, that was good. That was great. Perfect. Eccentric. New characters unlocked. And unrevealed good villager becomes a baker. Learn which villager I was. Learn which side of the circle is more evil. Learn equal if both sides are equal evil. Alright, that was good. I'm really tempted for one more. Okay. It'll just be one more game. 4-1-1-1. A doppelganger can really mess me up. 1 minion, 1 demon. Alright, I'm ready. I can reveal everyone. Let's do this. Alright, first of all, the possibility of a doppelganger existing is possible. I'm not ready for his brain tease. Corruption is possible. That's a likely statement if the These two could be telling the truth. These two corroborate each other, 1 and 4 corroborate. In which case, one of the jesters would be evil. What's the fortune learn if any of them are evil? Okay. You say anything in particular? Okay. There's a wait, one of these outcasts shouldn't actually exist. It's a fake created by the Ba. Let's sit down and just confirm this. If the Plague Doctor is the only source of corruption, right? Okay. If the Plague Doctor is actually evil, then that means 4 must be evil, because there would have been no corruption to spread. So if 1 and 4 are evil, then do the other statements here made by everyone else, are they true statements? Well, there's only 2 people I can check. 2 cards away from the closest evil. That would be a lie. So that is a contradiction. So since it's a contradiction, that means 1 and 4 must be good. And so if 1 and 4 are good, that means one of the 2 jesters is evil. So if I want to identify which jester is evil, because there's no doppelganger based on this line of logic, that means all I have to do is use their ability on these 3 people. Two evils. Okay, you are telling a true statement, and you are full of it, mister. Alright, now define the Ba. So, Ba is 2 cards away from the closest evil with... Okay, so... Wait, but there's a source of corruption. 2 people here are actually lying. Well, I knew one of the jesters was evil. But, okay, 2 people are lying. He cured 1 corruption. That could be any of them. What other information do I have? Let's me... pick the 2 people I know are good. Is 1 or 4 evil? That's a false statement. Okay. So... 2 or 6. I think 2 and 6 must be lying. No, wait. 2 is a true statement. 2 is a true statement. Because the closest evil is there. We ruled out that it couldn't be those 2. Right? Well, if you couldn't cure any corruption, that makes sense, because it's probable sense. Here's the only flaw with this line of logic. Corrupt the villager. But if I assume 6 is evil, then there's no option for anyone to be corrupted given this line of logic. So, who is supposed to be evil? That's my question. You see the issue? Because here's the issue. If 6 is evil, that means one of these people must have been corrupted for him to cure them. But if 6 is evil, then all of these statements become true statements, which means it's impossible for 6 to be evil. So, can the alchemist be corrupted? Can the alchemist be corrupted? Let me rephrase. If 4 is evil... If 4 is evil, this doesn't work, because then 6 would be lying. I need to reframe that. 6 is evil. It doesn't... there's no corruption here. The only source of corruption that could potentially exist would be 4, but if I check that, 4 is not corrupted. In which case, it's impossible for 6 to be evil. In which case, the only possible evil that makes sense given these cards would be 4. Because it's not guaranteed that you can't cure corruption. Then who would have been corrupted? Wait, who would have been corrupted in that instance? Wait, but you're 2 cards away from the closest evil. Boss 2 cards away from the closest evil. That's a false statement, but then you both have to be corrupted. And in that case, if you're both corrupted, that means that what does that mean? Oh, I don't know. No, that means no. Wait a second. Wait a minute. Wait. I need a long hard think about my. I need a reset. Okay, no. This is. Sorry. Sometimes I wonder if I should be playing this game like thinking a lot more about it, and other times I wonder if I should just start stabbing. Let me reframe. One has to be good. They're the only outcast. There's no room for a doppelganger. Let me... Okay. Okay, let's start with the Alchemist. The Alchemist is either telling the truth, or they're lying, in which case they're evil. Or they're corrupted, in which case they can't cure corruption. Okay, I see the issue. No. We know... Okay, I know 2 of these 5 people are lying. 2 of the 5 people are lying, which means I just need to identify 3 people telling the truth. Which is difficult. That's difficult. Oh no. How do I figure this information out? I know 4 is not... Wait, 4 is not corrupt. That's what I know. So you're either telling the truth or you're evil. Those are the two possibilities I have, and it's 4 is evil. I just need to know whether you're telling the truth. As far as evil, then there's no one to... If 4 is evil, then there's 1 corruption. If 4 is evil, then there would have been 1 source of corruption among these. Okay, so you would have been lying. You would both have been lying. You both are liars. If 4 is evil. And that can't be true. Which means, since it's a contradiction that 4 is evil, 4 must be good. And which means among these remaining 4, there has to be an evil. And since this is a true statement, 1, 4, 5. You know how this could not be a true statement? Is if 5 themselves is evil. Then they're giving a 0 number, because it's not true. But 5 could be evil. I didn't think about that. Let me see. There's 2 of these 3... No, where you could be corrupted. You cure the corruption, which means there's only 1 liar. Okay, if there's only 1 liar, that means I just need the liar is the evil one. Why is it that simple? Whoever lies is evil. When did corruption come into it? Okay, 5 could be evil, and okay, identify 1 lie and 2 truths. Okay, so if 2 is lying. Wait, 2 cannot be... If 2 is evil, then he's telling the truth. Which is a contradiction, so 2 must be good. If 6 is evil, they're telling a lie. Which makes sense. And this is the truth. Which is not a contradiction. If 5 is evil... Since it looks like it's a 50-50. It's a 50-50. Okay. Who are you pretending to be? You're pretending to be a jester. I'm more likely to kill the scout. I'm more likely to kill the jester. Alright. Well, that's it for today. Shaman. There are 2 same villager roles in the current village. Learn up to 3 characters, among them are 1 outcast, 1 villager, and 1 evil if possible.